At Pluff, we've been on a mission to revolutionize desserts. What happens when you mix creamy indulgence, grass-fed whey protein powder, Greek yogurt, and a superfood like blueberries? You get something revolutionary. Introducing Blueberry Pluff. 20 grams of protein, low in sugar, and whipped to perfection. Eureka! We've done it. And we did just that. But before I tell you what we did, I want to tell you why we did it. Do you know that 1 in 6 Americans eat a dessert every single day? And did you know that the average dessert has over 30 grams of sugar and less than 5 grams of protein? This problem affects all of us and forces us to constantly choose between indulgence and nutrition. My name is Dylan, and I am the Chief Dessert Officer for Pluff. And we're on a mission to make every day cheat day, to create a world where you no longer need to choose between indulgence and nutrition. With this in mind, I began experimenting in my laboratory, aka a Harvard dorm room kitchen, to craft up a product that was not only high in protein, but would be low in sugar and would be made with natural ingredients. And one day I asked myself, what if you combined protein-rich ingredients like grass-fed whey protein and Greek yogurt with a superfruit like blueberries, using my unique whipping process, and something magical happened. Introducing Pluff, a creamy and delicious whipped protein mousse. Each serving of Pluff provides consumers with 20 grams of protein, less than 4 grams of sugar, and is whipped to perfection. Pluff is the first whipped protein mousse. Each spoonful provides you with a silky smooth, indulgent experience while still being rich in protein, creating the perfect balance between indulgence and nutrition. In order to create a product that was out of this world, we needed to create a flavor that was out of this world. That is exactly why we chose to use blueberries. Blueberries provide the natural color and flavor that you taste today. It's also high in fiber, high in antioxidants, and supports weight loss, which resonates extremely well with our target market. And don't just take my word for it. Consumers love Pluff and are itching for us to launch in retail. And how can you blame them? Pluff is a product like nothing else. We're not like sugary pudding cups, boring yogurt cups, or traditional desserts. We're Pluff, a category creator set to lead the charge in the high-protein dessert market. And the market opportunity is massive. Pluff sits at the unique intersection of the $18 billion dessert market, the $12 billion yogurt market, and the $9 billion snack market. We're being propelled by 3 major trends. Google search reported that high-protein dessert search was at an all-time high in 2025. 71% of Americans say that they are actively trying to include more protein in their diet today. And there are over 15 million people today on GLP-1 drugs who require a high-protein diet to support this. And all of these provide ample ammunition to push Pluff forward. And we've seen this in our traction. We were recognized as one of the most innovative high-protein dairy products. We were recognized as one of the most innovative CPG brands by Harvard Business School. We recently got a partnership with a dairy innovation center to commercialize our product. And we were recognized as an official Crunch Fitness vendor in Orlando, Florida. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Gyms are craving and calling us to launch our product on their shelves. Pluff is pre-launch, but our go-to-market strategy is simple. We want to position the product as a high-value product priced at $5 per unit. Currently, we are expanding today in gyms via pop-ups to build brand awareness, but we want to expand into health food stores and grow slowly into national retail and food service across North America. Pluff is ready for retail. We've demonstrated incredible traction via our pop-ups, being able to sell 30 to 80 units a week versus your typical 10 to 15 units for a retail frozen product. We've also built the business to be profitable from day one with a 65% gross margin on our units today. Imagine if we were able to get into 50 stores, grow this out to 12,000 locations by year 6, selling at 15 units per week. You're looking at a cash-generating machine with the potential to generate $37 million by year 6. The team behind Pluff has amazing experience ranging from brands like General Mills, Heineken, and Sabra Hummus. Winning the prize money today will give us ample ammunition to grow and scale this vision. At Pluff, we believe in creating a consumer experience like no other. Join us in our mission as we make every day cheat day. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dylan. All right, judges, what do you have for him?
Thanks so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
I have a question. You talked about proprietary whipping process.
Yes.
I may be a two-part question here.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you, one, tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes.
And two, help us understand how you plan to scale up manufacturing, considering that?
Yep, so our process right now is developed by myself. Basically, it is a way to whip heavy cream separate from the overall ingredients, and the way I combine it at the specific temperature creates that texture that holds. It's basically around the process and the formulation. The combination of those two creates the proprietary edge around Pluff. In terms of scaling, manufacturing, the funds today, if we were able to win, would help us get that manufacturer and help us do that first run. We've already had some initial conversations with manufacturers, specifically in the Greek yogurt space, because they're the best option to manufacture this product, but just the initial MOQ is higher than we can provide right now, given our capital constraints.
Kelly.
Thanks, Dylan, for that presentation. Given that your product contains dairy milk, have you considered the potential challenges associated with seasonal fluctuations in dairy supply? And if so, what proactive measures do you have in place for any potential shortages?
Well, I haven't encountered that problem just yet, but based on the market and what I've seen, a lot of the states around, like where I'm on the East Coast, we're on the East Coast, a lot of the states have been putting in place more measures to invest in the dairy industry and expand the production. So I know New York has a lot of investment going into dairy, so is Florida. Right now I'm just watching the market and trying to see how best I can position myself with the best suppliers. But I'm just confident in the ability or the fact that there's been a lot of investment to expand capacity and production.
Nice job, Dylan. Very unique product, and I think it's delicious, so great work on that. I wanted to ask maybe two quick questions. Sure. So one, what are the sweeteners that you're using? I know there's, I think, 4 grams of sugar. Yes. But it definitely tastes like there's a level of sweetness. Yes. And you have blueberries as well, so just can you talk a little bit about the sweeteners? Yes,
so we use allulose as our sugar substitute. So for those who don't know, allulose is derived from fig. It's a sugar alternative that is used. It is a natural sweetener, and we also use a tiny bit of stevia to round it out at the end. So far, the feedback from consumers has been very positive. There are some people that don't want stevia, but overall, the allulose hasn't been an issue.
Okay, perfect, thanks. And then the other quick question was, you quoted 30 to 80 units per store per week? Was that? Yeah,
well, 30 to 80 units I sell per week via my pop-ups, correct.
Okay, so that's in one location in 1 week?
I probably do 2 pop-ups a week.
Okay, gotcha. I was just trying to, because that's amazing, that velocity is huge. So to your point, if you did scale that out in a chain-wide, retail expansion, the velocity, those dollars would be big, but I just wanted to understand, because I was like, that feels hard to believe at 30 to 80 if you're in, let's say, a Ralph's, Rayleigh's, Kroger, whatever, but I get it that it's a pop-up. Yeah,
but for context, I do it at gyms. So my target consumer initially sees the product, reacts to it, and purchases. So being able to be a Crunch Fitness vendor really transformed us, and being able to interact with my consumers on a daily basis, their repeat purchase has been a great sign of our ability to scale in retail.
Awesome, thanks.
Okay, one more question.
Go ahead.
Your product is so unique that I am curious how you've thought about maybe two-part question here. One, I think you alluded to this in the pitch, but where you'll sit on shelves. And then two, just the education required for consumers to really understand what Pluff is and the occasion.
Sure. So I've had that question a couple times. So for context, the product was actually called whipped protein dessert, and I got too many questions on what it was. So I changed the name to whipped protein mousse because people understand right away what a mousse is and can kind of compare it to something that they've seen. So that has helped with immediate understanding of like, at least I get an understanding closer of like best representation of the product. In terms of positioning on shelf, we would be positioned in the refrigerated aisle right next to this concept called specialty desserts. You have Greek yogurt on this side, and you have this unique section where you see mousse cups, puddings, like cookies and stuff, but that section has absolutely no high protein dessert at all. Doesn't exist, never been there. So we want to be the one to take that white space and dominate that industry completely.
Yeah, I was hoping you could just kind of narrow in on what you're finding is that consumer that this is appealing to, because it is different. And I think the question I had was, you know, you have a lot of big data on what you think the market potential is, but what are you actually seeing as your market?
My market has been the fitness enthusiasts, probably between the ages of 25 to 30. Usually it's been women, so women have a higher higher craving for sweets than a typical male. So when I post on social media, my comments are flooded with women that go to the gym and are excited for this high protein dessert because there are not a lot of products that cater to their needs. There's chalky protein cookies, chalky protein brownies, but there's no real indulgent protein dessert other than a couple ice cream options. So it's been a lot of high fitness enthusiasts, specifically women.
Thank you. Great answer. Thank you.
No problem.
We have time for one more. Jeff.
Dylan,
Yes.
great product, love it. Man, excellent job, very unique, very, very unique. In a cup of these, approximately how many blueberries could we?
So I don't know how many blueberries,
Percentage-wise.
but I can tell you it's about 10% of the product contains blueberry. We use freeze-dried blueberry powder to flavor it, and it creates this amazing color and texture that people think is food coloring, but it's not.
It's great.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Dylan.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.